Okay, let me go and completely describe how we can create a nuclear bomb or atomic bomb. Initially, I want to describe the elements which we can use mostly for creating a nuclear bomb. Secondly, I'm going to describe how this amount of infinite energy will be created by uranium and plutonium or substances. The third, I want to describe or provide you information about the fundamental particles inside these particles that we are using to create a nuclear bomb and so on, right? So let me go initially, what is actually a nuclear bomb and how we are going to create a nuclear bomb and which substances we should use to create a nuclear bomb. So mostly till nowadays we're using uranium 235 and plutonium 239 to create a nuclear bomb. So how we can create a uranium 235 and plutonium 239? Actually, we have uranium 238 and we fire particles, mostly alpha particle, which has positive 2e. It has positive charge, and if we fire alpha particle through the nucleus of uranium 238, it will go and collide with the nucleus of uranium, and the uranium 238 will decay. Whenever it decays, the uranium 238 changes into uranium 235, and it will be more radioactive, and somehow we can use that for nuclear bomb. We cannot use uranium 238 for creating a nuclear bomb somehow, but we can use uranium 238 or U-235, not 238, U-235 or uranium 235 for creating a nuclear bomb. And we can also do the same process, fire an alpha particle positive 2 through the nucleus of the uranium, and whenever it collides with the nucleus of the uranium 238, it changes into plutonium 239, and it's also more radioactive and explosive to create a nuclear bomb. So actually, let me go with a more fundamental way how this happens and why whenever we fire a particle like alpha positive 2e, fundamentally what happens. You can see the picture on the screen here, the mathematic description, and also the picture of this decay and how this happens. So we have your alpha particle, which is positive 2e. You know that the nucleus charge is mostly neutral, and we know that the nucleus of an atom, let's go to all atoms, but let's go to uranium, created from protons and neutrons. We know that protons charged positively and neutron charged neutrally. So inside the protons we have other particles, which we name them quarks, up quarks, and down quarks. So up quarks has the positive charge and down quarks has the negative charge. So let me go. A proton created from 2 up quarks and 1 down quark. If we see the mathematic, you see that here a proton charge a proton charge is positive 1. So how it can be? So let's see, two up quarks and 1 down quark. The charge of 1 up quark is 2/3 positive 2/3, and we know this is the charge of 1 up quark. And as I have mentioned previously, that a proton has 2 up quarks, so positive 2/3 plus positive 2/3, and 1 down quark it has, which the charge of 1 down quark is negative 1/3. So positive 3rd, positive 3rd, and negative 1/3 equals to positive 1. So this is the reason that the proton charge A is positive 1. Let's see the neutron. Neutron charge is 0. I mean, it's neutral. Actually, 0 in physics, mostly in quantum physics, means something between negative and positive. It means it can be negative, it can be positive, it can be 0, right? So the charge of a neutron is neutral. It has 2 down quarks and 1 up quark. As I have mentioned previously, that the charge of down quarks are negative 1/3, so 2 negative 1/3 and plus 2/3 is neutral, is 0. Okay, mathematically, if you want to write that, it will be 0. So now go on. Now go on, and we know that if we just solve the mathematics of alpha particle, we know that inside alpha particle we also have up quarks and down quarks. So since the charge of alpha particle A is positive to E, we should have something like this. We should have uh, 4 up quarks and 2 down quarks. For this reason, the charge will be positive to E. When this charge positive to E fired through an alpha GAN or machine accelerator, when it reaches to the nucleus, the positive charges will repel each other, and somehow fundamentally quarks interact with each other inside the nucleus, and this causes that the nucleus changes behavior. Then the alpha particle, whenever it enters inside the nucleus, it somehow divides into fundamental particles. It changes into quarks, 4 up quarks and 2 down quarks, and the proton inside the nucleus somehow also divide, and the quarks will be appear. So you see here will be appeared, and you see that these here or we have quarks. So these quarks interact with each other and decay. So this is the reason that either this change into uranium-235 or plutonium-239. How to plutonium-239? So we know that the amount of protons in uranium-235 is 92 protons and 143 neutrons, and the amount of protons is equal to the amount of electrons, we know that. So this, whenever this alpha particles enters inside the atom, it is spread out. It divides into fundamental particles. The same, the protons divide into fundamental particles, and it collides with each other. Two possibilities maybe happened. Maybe some protons just escape from the nucleus, and the amount of the proton decreases, and it will be uranium-235. Or maybe it combined, some quarks combine into each other and create more protons, change from uranium-238 to plutonium-239. You see the amount of proton increases here, but if we decay completely, the amount of proton will decrease and it change to uranium-235. So this is the reason why we change particles, we change elements into each other. So whenever we have uranium-235, for example, we just fired an alpha particle and it decayed. At that time, whenever the uranium-238 change into uranium-235, an infinite energy will be released. So now I want to go and directly talk about how the nuclear bomb works. So first, let me tell you like this: whenever two protons collide into each other, we know that two positive charges repel each other, two negative charges also repel each other, but one positive and one negative somehow would not repel each other, but somehow attract each other, right? So whenever with a high speed and high energy, two protons collide with each other, the amount of the collision will be explosive. This explosion causes to release infinite energy, and it will be more stronger than several nuclear bombs. Can you believe that two protons, which we cannot see it, collide into each other, and the power of these two protons will be more than several nuclear bombs? Actually, yes, it will happen. it will happen. I mean, it will happen if it collide, or if they collide into each other. So yeah, let's go and directly talk about. We have uranium-235. We know that this uranium-235 is more radioactive and radiate different kinds of radiation. So we need to have different kinds of shells to protect from these radiations. So take the uranium-235 and put it inside a shield. The first shield is electric shield, then we have light shield, then we have um, 5 other shields, which completely will be 7 shields. So if we need to have 7 shields, if we do not have 7 shields, special shields, light shield, electric shields, the uranium 30 to 35 will radiate, and it causes to damage millions of people. Okay, so like it radiates alpha part, it radiates X-ray. Sometimes it radiates beta radiation and some other radiations, which is very famous. I will describe these radiations later on, but let me go and describe directly what is actually a shape of the nuclear bomb. So put the uranium-35 inside these shields and put it inside a rocket shape or a ball shape or a bomb shape. It doesn't matter. So whenever you find with a country, just fire it or release it on that country. Just automatically, when this bomb near to the when this bomb reaches to the near of the country, the electric shields fire charges like alpha particle, and this alpha particle again collide with the nucleus. Here we have the explosion. When it collides to the nucleus, what happens is the explosion. This alpha particle collide with the nucleus, and here we have a decay. This decay releases infinite amount of energy. So uranium changes into plutonium, into radium, into all the radioactive particles, and release thousands and thousands of we can say amount of energy. It will be somehow infinite energy. This is the explosion here. We have the explosion and the radiations both. We have both of them. So here you see that the electric shield fires if an alpha particle or a particle or a radiation. When this radiation or particle collide with the nucleus decays. The shape of the nucleus decayed, and it won't be constant. It will decay and release infinite amount of energy, and that is nuclear bomb. This is how nuclear bomb works. So in that time, it will explode, as I have mentioned, that it will release infinite energy. So the shields will destroy, and the bomb will explode, and the country will be disappeared. So this is how the nuclear bomb works. So simply, I have explained everything about nuclear bombs and how nuclear bomb works, which kinds of substances or elements we are using to create a nuclear bomb, and how the nuclear bomb works, and what is the reason of this amount of energy or this explosion. So I will describe more about nuclear bomb in the future, as I have mentioned at this part, this lecture easily, and basically I describe everything about nuclear bomb. Keep in mind one thing: creating a nuclear bomb is not difficult theoretically, but practically it is very difficult, because you need to have uranium, you need to have machine accelerator, you need to have a place to create that, you need to have billions of dollars, and you need to have many scientists, because a person cannot create that. The reason why a person cannot create that is that a person does not understand all physics. So this is the reason that there should be at least 50 or more than scientists. One, for example, a group of scientists should be physicists, a group of scientists should be chemists, a group of scientists should be mathematicians, a group of scientists should understand the